Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. This morning, I want to talk to you guys about why hard work isn't enough. So, if you've been trying to advance in your career and it feels like a struggle, this is the live stream for you. And let me know where you are from. And if you rock with me every week, if I'm looking everywhere, you guys know that when I stream to TikTok and YouTube and everything. And also, if you cannot catch this full live stream, you can catch the replay on my channel on YouTube. You can find me on there at I am Alicia Perkins. So, hey y'all, good morning, good morning, good morning. Look at my comments so I don't be rude. Hey Simone, good morning, good morning. So, I want to know this. Okay, so if you are trying to advance in your career, let me know if it feels like a struggle. So, if it's been a struggle, hey, good morning, y'all. Drop a note for me. So if you've been trying to advance in your career, because I want to know who I am talking to this morning. Because I know that, hey, Miss Carla, because I know that when it comes to our career, right, we're really not taught how to navigate our career in a way that is going to put us, I know, right, that is going to put us in a place to where we can reach the level of success that we want, either in the time frame that we want or on the terms that we want, right? Because there are some people that, they do advance in their career, right? But it doesn't really feel like it's on their terms, right? You can be in a place to where you see a level of success in your career, but it's really not the success don't really hit as it should. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really feel as fulfilling as it should, or you can get to a point to where you feel like your success is capped. Like you really just not able to operate in your full potential like you know that you can. And so today I want to talk about that career advancement and why hard work isn't enough, right? And so I don't want y'all to be like, oh child, they always want something more, right? Because you can feel like that, right? You can feel like, why does it take so much work in my career to get what it is that I want? Especially if you feel like you are one that you already put in a lot of work, right? But this is what this live stream is about. It's not about you doing more work, which is why it's called hard work is not enough. It's about you being able to make sure that you're putting the focus and the time into the things that's really going to move the needle in your career, right? Because you can find yourself you working extra hard, friend, extra hard, but it's like you're hitting a wall, right? And you can find yourself in this cycle for so long to where you're like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And for one, I'm seeing growth, but it's not at the pace that I feel like I should see it at, where you can start feeling like, hey, I'm not seeing the growth as I should. And when I say growth, I mean the growth in your skill set or the growth in your paycheck, okay? Or even the growth in you being able to feel fully aligned in what it is that you do, because that's a growth area that people don't really think about. They don't think about, am I growing in the area in my career that's allowing me to live the life that I want? Because you could be growing in your career, but you're not growing, right, at a pace or at a speed that's allowing you to live the life that you want. And most people think that in order to grow or advance in their career, that comes at a cost of them having to lose out on something in the life that they want. But I want to be able to go ahead and just change the way that you think. Don't be rude. You guys know that I love you guys to engage with me. Okay, good. I am starting to see them roll in. Okay, so thing that I do want to say, right? I think where people tend to fall short in their career is that you put so much effort in so much time and you have the approach of work and wait, right? Work and wait. I'll work. I will, I will plant these seeds and let's just see what comes from this. Right. And so a lot of people tend to have a very passive approach in how they advance in their career. Right. Because, we've been taught this, and we've even been taught this, y'all, since a child. Just, hey, if you do good, right, you will reap those results, right? And that's not so much of a bad mindset, but it's just being able to understand that you need something else besides the work, right? And when you are in the wait mode, You have to be able to know what you are really waiting on. For one, some people are wanting to wait to change their job's mind, right? And I think that's how people lose a lot of time, because you'll start seeing signs, right? And a lot of you guys see signs in the beginning that this is not the space for you, right? And it's not always about you having a hatred for your job, but sometimes you just see, you know what, this job is probably not going to get me to where it is that I really want to be. But what tends to happen is, like, once you see the signs, then you start to kind of wait around and just hope that they change, right? And so that is where that hard work and wait can sometimes like be, because you're just sitting there just hoping and waiting that they change, or you're sitting there hoping and waiting that they can be like that job can turn into a good fit for you. But you waste so much time doing that, because what you don't understand is that, for one, you don't own them, right? You can't make them give you what it is that you need, though you should ask for it, but you cannot make them give you what you want or need. It's up to you to be able to sit down and see if this role that you're in is in alignment with the goals that you have. And so some people will sit back and kind of take the approach of, you know what, I'll just sit back and wait and hope that they'll change. And you wait, and you will waste a lot of time doing that, right? And so, when you think about the work that you do in your career, you need to see your work as seed, right? You need to see your work as seeds, meaning that you should have the mindset that you are sowing something with the work that you do, right? And for one, when you get that mindset, we all know that anytime you plant anything, right, you are expecting something to come from that. Right. And that is how you need to be in the work that you do. You need to be expecting something to come from the work that you do, and not necessarily just expecting, let me say this, not even having a clear idea of what you want, right? You need to be clear on what is it that you want from this. If I plant seeds for a fruit, I'm going to expect that certain fruit to come forth out of that seed. And that's how you have to look at the work that you do. You have to start to look at it as, you know what, I'm not just here to make them successful. The work that I do, it needs to reap something for me, and not just reap any old thing. It needs to reap the thing that I need it to. So for one, this is going to allow you to be more engaged in the work that you do, right? This is going to allow you to be more thoughtful about the jobs that you pick. This is going to allow you to be more strategic about the work that you do at work, and not just saying yes to everything, because you understand, right? You understand that, hey, this work should be leading me towards something. But when you're just in a mindset of, I'll just throw out work, I'll just say yes to whatever, I'll just burn myself out, what happens is that you put yourself in a cycle of not feeling engaged with the work that you do. And this is why people start feeling unfulfilled in their work, because their work is not, it's like they don't see their work as a tool to drive them towards their goals and their wants. The work is just a tool to make somebody else more successful, and not them. And this is why you feel like you're just pouring yourself into your work. You're not getting anything back. And that's just because you're not thinking about your work as seed. So I want you to start to really transform your mind and start thinking about, okay, as I'm putting in the work, I should be expecting something from this. That something is growth, is pay, right? Whatever that is, you need to be in a great, almost like, and I'm glad I'm using the term seeds, because we do know that it takes time, right? But I want you guys to expect something from the great work that you're doing, because you are doing great work, right? And so when we're talking about the reality of you being able to advance in your career, it's based on two things, y'all. Two things: visible, and you being able to speak up for what you need, okay? Visibility, and you being able to advocate for yourself. Those are the two main core concepts of you advancing in your career. Now you see that I didn't even put, your skills in there. I didn't even put your experience in there. I'm not saying that those things are not important, but what I am saying is that all of the experience in the world, all of the skills in the world cannot make up for anything if, for one, if you are not visible, if they don't see the work that you do. Right? If they don't even know that you are bringing forth these great results, if you don't even know how to highlight the results that you bring, right? It's like they don't even know who to even count for that. And so if you are not being visible, you won't reap from all of that work that's being done. And also, if you're not in a place to where you are wanting to ask for what you need, which is crucial, right? You being able to speak up and let them know, right? You being able to move away from that approach of, I hope that they'll just see. No, because half the time they ain't trying to look. Why? Does not mean that they don't like you, right? It's simply, for one, they have their own job, right? And it's not their job. I'm going to say this. It is not their main focus or their main job to make sure that you grow. Now, should you work for somebody who has a level of concern? Absolutely. I believe that who you work for, they should be concerned about your growth, right? They should put some things in place, right, to allow you to have some idea of what growth plan comes with your role, right? They should have that idea, right? But is that their number one focus? Absolutely not. Right? Their number one focus is to make sure that they are successful, right? And so when you think about being able to advance in your career, you need to be thinking about, okay, am I visible, right? Do these people even know the work that I do, the results that I bring forth, the expertise that it takes for me to bring forth the results that I do? I know it's easy sometimes to take on a mindset of, they don't like me, they just trying to hold me back, right? And it's true in some cases, absolutely. In some, but more times than not, it's because you're not visible, right? So they see these results being done. They are able to reap off of them, right? They see it all, right? But it is not their number one job to go and track and see all of these results, right? Thank you. It is not their job. So if it's not their job and your focus is not on it, then what happens? I'll tell you what happens, right? Your growth falls away because there's no eyes on it, right? Those opportunities to make more money, those opportunities to increase your skills, right? Those just tend to fall away because nobody's eyes is focused on it. And that's why it's up to you to make sure that when you're looking to advance in your career, that you are making sure that you are putting yourself in a place to where there is no I hope or I wish. It needs to be I am, right? I am, in a place to where I can ask for more pay. Not, I hope that they see what I do and I get a raise. No, right? Because you have to understand is how you treat yourself. It trains the people around you at work how they need to as well, right? And so when you take the work that you do seriously, and that is how you can really tell that you take the work that you do, that it's real to you, is when you make sure that it is being highlighted. Right? When you make sure that your impact matches your income, right? Because you know how hard you worked for your expertise, right? You know how hard, right? You have put in the work, right? So even in that same, same little sphere, I want you guys to even think about, which is my next point, is being how can I put this? Like being able to understand, like, what is the dynamic of your workplace, right? Now, remember, we're still on why hard work is not enough. Do you understand, like, what is the way that your workplace works, right? Sometimes we feel like it's some like unwritten rules in order to succeed in this corporate world. And child, sometimes it is, right? I always say that when it comes to you being in corporate, it is a game there. And by the word game, what I mean by that is that there are rules, right? Not saying that these rules are horrible or bad, but everywhere you go, there are rules. Everywhere you go, right? So you're thinking about you having to advance in your career, you got to realize that there is a structure there. There is a game there, right? Now it's up to you to decide in your workplace if that workflow, right? If that workspace aligns with the values that you have. And that is going to help you to see, right, if you need to even be there in the first place, right? And it's up to you to understand how your workplace operates. So now, for one, you know how to be strategic, and two, you can decide if you even want to waste your time there, right? Because we do know in some workspaces, there can sometimes be this very, what do they call it? This kind of, almost, I don't want to say competitive, because I do believe that in all workspaces, there is a sense of that, and that's not always a bad thing, right? But we do know that there are some workspaces that are very cutthroat, right? And you have to be able to decide, is that even somewhere that you even desire to even grow in? But when I say that, what I mean is that, one, you being able to be visible, one, is not just about you speaking about the things that you do, but it's also you being able to engage and be around the people, right, who you need to start engaging with. Because sometimes it's not all about what you know, but in a lot of cases, it's about who you know. And so you need to be able to identify in your workspaces, are there any, what's the word, allies? Is there anybody that you can get there who can also start talking about you? Because it's one thing when you can highlight your successes and your results, but it's another thing, right, when you can have somebody else speaking on your behalf, right? When you can have somebody else, like, it's not just you having the power to speak up and ask for those things that you need, but you also have this other person in the room speaking up for you when you're not even there, right? And so you being able to ask for what it is that you need, and you got somebody on your side speaking up for you, right? It is powerful. But I know that when it comes to doing things like this, for one, there are people that have experience, like, bad workplace experiences. So you like, child, I want to be here and just do my job. I may eat lunch with y'all every now and then, but I'm done. Right. I know it can be easy to have that mindset when you be like, they just be on 10 over here. I don't have time for it. I understand that. So, and this is why I'm not saying to go and be best friends with everybody there. But what I am saying is that, when you can start to look for people in your workspace that can also speak for you, it is a way to draw the right eyes on you. And it's a way to find stuff out and to get insights. Because it's the thing, guys, you don't have to do everything all by yourself. Absolutely not. Right? You can be in a place to where, when you start having the right conversations and you start to get the insights that you need, my friend, you start saving yourself years of time, right? And you start understanding and realizing, again, the same concept of you being able to sow and reap. You start understanding, wait a minute, I've helped so many people in my life, right? I have poured into so many other people in my life. I've always been there for everybody else. Now it's time for me to find somebody who's going to pour into me. It's time to find somebody that's going to help me now. And guess what? That's a sign of strength, right? That's a sign of you being able to understand, remember those seeds that you have planted, and being able to understand, when should I be expecting a return on these seeds, right? And that will put you in a place to where, right, you can skip the line, right? You can literally skip the line. You don't have to keep thinking that your career growth has to go in a certain way, because it doesn't. You can grow in your career as fast as you want to, right? You can reach and be paid the amount of money that you want, how fast, it doesn't have to come in a certain time frame. It can come at, when you're talking about growth and more pay and things of that sort, it comes at the level that you are serious about it, right? It comes at the time frame that you are focused on it, because anytime you are focused on anything, that speeds up your result. Right? And that's why talking about being hard work isn't enough, because just because you are working hard in your career does not mean you are focused on your success. It doesn't mean that. It can feel like, man, I put in work, so that means I just have a really high regard for my success. No, you can tell when you have a high regard for your success by the actions that you take, and if those actions serve the goals that you have, or does the action that you take serve that job or that space more? Now, again, I'm a fan of hard work. I believe in you being able to operate at a level of just you being able to bring forth great results at a level that it does not burn you out, right? So I believe in hard work, but I also know that when it comes to this, that people can feel like, I'm working hard, so that means that I have control over my success. No, 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 no. Being able to have control over your success and you being focused on your success means that, one, when you are thinking about what moves that you want to make in your career, you think about you first. You think about you first and what it is that you need. You don't think about team. Oh, I think my team needs me. Mm-mm. Your first thought isn't, oh, what would they do if I wasn't here? No, right? What you think about first shows you what you have put first, right? So if you are wanting to ask for a raise or advance or whatever, and the first thing that comes in your mind is, what will they think if I X, Y, and Z? That shows you right there who you have put first. Right? You have put first their feelings, their thoughts, their ideas. There's a time and a place for that, right? But when it's time to sit down and think about your success in your life, right? And where you are in your life, that's the time to think about you. Because when they are in their big fancy rooms and they are wanting to see their overall success and make plans, and maybe they're not thinking about you. Their first thing was, okay, like, what is it that we need to do to make sure that we are in alignment with the vision of success that we have, right? Now, I'm not saying that they don't have any concern for you. Friend, you are on the list. I'm just saying that you ain't on the top of the list, because in some degree, right, they need their staff, right? So I'm not saying that the staff is on the list. I'm saying that the staff ain't on the top of the list, because their goal is to get the staff to bring forth the vision and the results that they want. And guess what? It's business, okay? Right? So when you are having to sit down and plan out your career strategy, why are you thinking about them first? I don't understand. And guess what? You being able to put you first and to think about you first is not selfish, it's strategic, because you understand that because I am thinking about me first, anything that I decide to do beyond this point is going to serve me first, right? Because I believe that when you serve yourself first, right? When I say that, meaning like when you make sure that you have put in thought your expectations and your needs, I believe that you can best serve the people around you, right? Because you have been able to pour into you what you need, so you can best serve. Because when you think about being able to serve with your skills, you got to understand that you being able to bring forth great results, my friend, that doesn't happen by chance, right? That does not happen by chance. This remind me, I was on a Zoom call this week, and well, one of the things that I do with the clients that I work with is I help them to get really clear on what does success look like for you. Like, you can't throw me no little vague stuff like, oh, I just want to operate in my best potential. And Now, that's a good start, right? We obviously can start there. But I help my clients to like really get clear on like, no, what does success look like for you? What does it feel like for you? Right? I had another client that I was working with in this activity when we were doing it. I was really helping her deep dive at first. Like she really kind of struggled with this activity because it had been so long that she even thought about what it is that she wants. Right. So, I helped her to get so clear on her version of success was that she said one way that she would know what success was for her was that she could have a job that allowed her the time to actually garden, so she wouldn't have to eat any more processed foods, and that she could have her health right at the level that she like always dreamed of. So for her, one version of success for her was to have the time to take care of her health, right? She had gotten super clear on that. And it's like when you can get that clear on the level of success you want or the version of success or at least one form of success. But of course, that wasn't the only thing, but that was one thing that she shared with me that was so concrete. It's something that she could actually look forward to, right? There was something that she could actually plan for. This is something that when she made moves in her career, right? This is something that she was able to keep at the forefront of her mind because a lot of people want success, right? But you don't even know what that is for you. And so it's like, if you don't know what success is for you, when you hit it, how will you even know that you are successful? And this is why you have people that are like, they are high achievers. Okay. My friend, they are high achievers. And they're on this hamster wheel of they hit accomplishment after accomplishment after accomplishment after accomplishment. And it's just like they never feel fulfilled in anything that they do. But that's because you never planned out what success was for you in the first place. Right. So you are literally on a road. You are literally in this race towards nothing. Right. And that's how you will burn yourself out. Right. So it's so important for you to start even seeing when you're thinking about success in your career. What does that look like? And it should be in alignment, or it should allow you to be in or move towards success in life, right? Hold on. If you guys have been enjoying this live stream so far, I always want to be sure that when I'm on live that I'm really able to transform the way you think. And this is the thing, if you guys notice, I don't tell you what to do exactly. I tell you how to think, right? Because if you can change the way that you think, my friend, the things that you do will change. Now, when you work with me, that's when we get into more tailored strategies, right? But on this live stream, I tell you how to think. Right. And so with this idea, this concept of, hard work isn't enough, please know that I'm not trying to suck out the drive that you have. Right. Because sometimes it is that drive that allows you to stand out. It is the drive that has allowed you to reach the goals that you have so far. But sometimes it can be that same drive that will make you put yourself last. It's the same drive that will allow you to put what you want, right, all in a box in the closet in the back of the house because you do have a drive. And sometimes the drive that you have to succeed can easily turn into, if you're not being strategic in your career, that drive can turn into needing to please the people around you. So now you're not driven by your goals anymore. Now you're just driven by, I got to be able to make sure that everybody else around me is happy, right? And that happens when you're not being strategic. That happens when you're just kind of wanting to just sit back and wait for things just to turn right or turn good. And it does not put you in a place to where, again, you are able to serve yourself. And that's when you find yourself, y'all, playing it safe. And it allows you to not own your success. Own your results. My client, last week I was on a Zoom call with him, and he was sharing with me like all of his successes and his results, and he was, asked him if he felt like he had been successful in his career. He was like, yeah. And then I asked him, I said, do you know how you got here? Right? Because I'm like, you feel successful, right? I said, do you know how you got here? Like, do you know how you reached this level of success? He's just like, what everybody else is. I work hard. I said, okay. I said, but that success, I said, is that success something that feels real? And he just stared at me like he was really thinking. And he was like, no. And I asked him, I said, does your success feel like it happened by chance? Ask him, does your success feel like it happened just out of the blue? It just, bam, just fell from the sky. And he said, yeah. He said, I didn't know what that was called, right? Because sometimes you feel things and you're feeling unsure, and you're feeling unstable, but you just need the right words, right? He said, that's exactly what it feels like. He said, it feels like this because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a strategy. I just kind of, I would just accept jobs and it went well. And then he said, I would grow and I would advance. And this somebody, he gets paid well, right? But even at the level that he's in, he feels like his success happened by chance. Now, with him feeling like that, it does not mean that the results and the successes are not his. But when you feel like your success has been by chance, you can't own that. You cannot walk in that confidently. You'll always be doubting yourself. You'll always be feeling like with every job you have to start over, right? Because you don't understand or know how you even got here, right? And so if you're not engaged in the work that you do and you don't know how you got there, it makes you unsure, and it makes it easy for people that you work with who don't see the value that you have to, right, almost like discredit you. Because I know that we've worked with people that they almost try to shrink us, and they almost try to allow us to feel like, right, that what we do isn't enough. And that's what drives people to not set boundaries in their career as they should, right? Because when you don't validate your experiences, your success, and your results, you leave that in the hands of somebody else. And now you need the people around you. You need your family, you need your friends, you need everybody else around you to validate that success. Right? And that will keep you on the wheel of people pleasing. That keeps you on the wheel of you always having to shove you back last. And my friends, that is not the way that we advance. I'm not finished with the statement. That is not the way that you advance in your career on your terms. Because we have plenty of people advancing, right? But not on their terms. They're almost being pushed to that next phase. And they're like, child, I don't want this phase. They're almost having to be pushed and shoved into a version of success that they don't even want in the first place, right? So when you're thinking about advancing, like don't just think about, right, I'm on this path of success, but start asking yourself, is this a path I even want to be on in the first place, right? Because sometimes the most comfortable paths are the ones that you are misaligned with, right? The most comfortable, you comfortable, you cruising, and you are cruising your way right out of your dream life. You are moving further away from what you say that you want because you feel so comfortable. And so it's like you will eventually like reach that, what do you call it? That fork in the road, right? Where you like, child, well, how did I get here? Right? And then that fork is kind of like, okay, is it better if I stay with what I know? Or is it better to go towards what it is that I really want? And that's the fork everybody comes to. Everybody comes to that, right? Because, a lot of times when folks are fired or they lose their job, anything like that, sometimes that's the time where you really come to that point in your career. You like, hey, what happens from here? Or if there was a role that you like, really, you have had your eye on this role for a long time. You like, this is it, right? And you don't get it. It's almost like those moments of like disappointment, and not just every day, but those deep moments you'd be like, I thought this was for me, but I didn't get it. It's like at those moments you'll start thinking like, okay, what's next, right? And so I really believe that for most people, like that fork, man, it's just easy to just go down that road. When I say easy, that does not mean that you are happy. Because like sometimes you could be like, some things can be easy, but that don't mean you happy. It don't. You be like, I've been telling myself that I want to lose weight. It's just easier to drive through this drive-through and get these hot fries. It's just so easier than me having to go home and fix something and cook something that is healthy, right? So though it was easier to drive through that drive-through, right? But I'm not happy. And after I ate those French fries, I felt horrible. So just because something is easy does not mean that means that you are happy. And sometimes you have to go through seasons of like discomfort / growth. I say that because a lot of times those go hand in hand. You'd be like, I just don't know what's happening. What's happening is that it's time to grow and it's time to expand. But so you feeling that pull there, right? Because it's just that thing on the inside is like, it's time for us to do something more. It's time for us to leave this behind and go into what's next. But the other side is like, chill, it's okay over here. It's not that bad. And you're feeling this pull and this tug. And that's when people start saying things like, I'm stuck. You're stuck because you won't go with what you want to do, right? You're stuck because you are fighting against that feeling of it's time for what's next. That stuck comes from, I know I'm made for more than this, but I just don't want to, and that's where that I'm stuck comes from. That stuck comes from you not being able to make the choice to go towards greater. Because it's not that you don't want it, it's just that that's not the easiest path. The easiest path is just to sit here and just do what I do. I'll just fuss and complain and I'm good. No, right? So you come to this fork in the road and then you like, oh, okay, what happens now? And people don't know if you can just get past that temporary discomfort. And a lot of times that discomfort comes from folks like us. Look, my hand is raised because I want to know that I'm not talking at you. I'm talking with you. It comes from the feeling of wanting control. That feeling of, I gotta know everything. I have to see it clearly. I have to see step A, step B, step C, all the way to Z. I have to be able to have a clear path for me to even start on it, right? But that discomfort comes from, that feeling of you feeling uneasy comes from sometimes you having to pursue something or go towards something that has not been done with anybody that you know. So there is no real life example in your small group. At that time, you understand that, man, like these are the dreams and the goals that I have, but you be like, but the people that I know, they're not really thinking on that level. So you start feeling that little, I'm just feeling uneasy because for one, you're thinking like, what if I step out there and it don't go right? What if I step out and I was wrong? Like, what if I step out here, right? And it end up being worse than what it is I already have. So it's the fear of, I may fail. And for some people, it's ironic, for some people, they have a fear of success. What if I actually get the thing that I want? How is that going to change me? Right? How much of my life will change? Because I'm like, change. I'd be like, change. Let's keep it structured. Let's keep it organized. Let's keep it on routine, right? I'll sometimes have to fight against that myself. But you like, what happens if I get the thing that I want and child, everything change? So that's that. That's look, hand raised twice, friend. Twice. So now it's like, what happens if I get the level of success that I want and it changes everything? And what happens if I get the level of success that I want and I can't maintain it? What happens if I reach it and I can't maintain it? And then so you overthinking this thing, my friend, you overthinking it. You are overthinking yourself out of what you say that you want. Overthinking it. But isn't it amazing? And I'll say this, if you are sensitive, hit the X button right now. Hit the X. Sign out. I love you. No hard feelings. If you are sensitive, okay. For if you still on this live stream, you love a little tough love. It's amazing how we will give so much thoughts, as we say, thought, right? We will think into so much. We will dissect so much of what we want, of our goals, right? But anything anybody else asks from us, we don't give it no thought. That job, your friend, whoever, right, can pull you into something that you don't halfway care about, that you don't halfway have any tie to, and you won't give it any thought. Now, if you would think about that, if you would think about those things with the same amount of effort, if you would dissect that with the same amount of effort that you will dissect and destroy your dreams, if you would use all that energy for the things that you don't want to do, you can save yourself so much time. But the energy and the overthinking is in the wrong place. When you at work not being able to set the boundaries you need to set and say no to the things that you need to say no to, that's what you need to be dissecting. Is it that their 15th time that they've asked you to stay late and they ain't paying you for it? Put the energy into dissecting that, not what you want. Like let's weigh the pros and cons on those kind of things. But when it comes to your goals and your dreams, it's just so easy to just, those can wait. So how is it that your dreams and your goals can wait, but everybody else's demands and wants and everything that they got going on, no, you got to do that right now? Y'all mad at me? Y'all love me? I'm only telling you the truth because I want those things that are good for you. And so it's not that you are not capable of making a choice. That's not the problem, because obviously you make them every day. The problem is that you struggle when it comes to having to make a choice when it's going to serve you, right? Again, being able to put the right language on what's the real problem here. You have no problem having to make a choice. You do it all the time. The problem is that when it comes to you having to make a choice on something that is going to serve you, that is going to put you in a place where, again, you can lead well, earn well, and live well, that's what you struggle with. So it's not that you don't know how to make a choice. You don't know how to put yourself in a place of success, right? Again, I'm not trying to get deep, y'all. We still talking about when hard work ain't enough. It's all in the same sphere, okay? It's all in the same sphere, okay? And so when you start to really focus and lean into that, right? Again, yeah, you don't know how to prioritize yourself. And guess what, y'all? That's something that you have to train. Let me tell you, look, hand raised with you. You have to train yourself to be that way. So this is not a a stream to like bash you and say you horrible, but no, this is just something to like open your eyes and see that this is something that you have to focus on. You have to focus on you being able to put yourself in a place, right? Again, like I was saying in the beginning, those seeds, being able to recognize and see what have you planted already. And being able to understand, okay, now this is the season that I am in, to where I need to be looking at, right? How is it that I can reap from what I've already done? Right? And if it's something that you need help with, y'all, let's talk. We're in November the 7th, you know. You guys know, or some of you may know, towards this end of the year, this is when I do my strategy calls. So if you are wanting to get into a place to where, for one, you can take some time and think about you and what you want, and you can get a concrete plan, a step-by-step plan from me on what it is that you need to do to get you from where you are and where you need to be. These strategy calls are for you. You don't have to go into 2024 without a plan. It's like you have to come to a place to where you realize it's time to take action. I can't think my way to success. Think your way there, baby. It takes action. Okay. I'll have the link. I believe the link is already up, but those are going to start tomorrow. So if you want more information on how to book one with me, let's talk. Because it takes action. It takes you being able to calm all the noise down. You being able to calm all the noise down. Have some time with me. Hash some stuff out. Vent. Get clear. Right? Were you able to brain dump all that's up here, right? And we sit down and we get a plan for you, a step-by-step plan, something that you can actually leave with, and you take out all of that guesswork. I don't know, you know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what those gaps are that need to be filled. So, if you go on my website, probably this afternoon, I'll have it on there. Or if you even want to see if this is a good fit for you, let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. So the thing that I want to end this live stream with y'all is that all of this really is a mental game. Now there is a strategy piece, but before you even get there, baby, it's all up here. It's the shift that goes from can I to I will. It's you being able to like remove yourself from excuses into action, right? You being able to remove yourself out of this victim mindset. When I say victim, it's a very extreme word, but you can find yourself operating in it. You don't even realize it. When you feel like things just keep happening to me. But when you start to shift to things should be happening for me, right? And so, you know, it's all about you being able to really get this right. And that's the thing, when you're struggling with, because I want to make this clear, because not everybody struggles with a belief that I don't think I can, right? But you can find yourself in a place to where yours is not necessarily an issue with just, confidence, right? Sometimes you could just struggle with thinking that everything has to be just right before you get started, right? You can find yourself, there are some things that maybe you dealt with at work or in your career, and your bounce back ain't as fast or as strong as it should be. Because most people, whenever they experience like a hardship or, things didn't go the way that they thought that they should, a lot of people take that as a sign that maybe this ain't for me. You know what I mean? When you don't get something like you should, maybe this ain't for me. You be like, I don't know. Me and my husband, we've been married in March it'll be 10 years. But when he first was like, will you marry me? I said no. I was like, Now, what would have happened if he would have said no? Like, my whole life would have been completely different, and his, right? but so sometimes y'all probably like, let's get the tea behind that. But but no, there is no tea. I wasn't expecting it, and I kind of froze up, and this no just came out. I don't know, but we've been happily married now, going on 10 years. What happened if he would have just said no? So sometimes no, those no's that you get ain't always a no, and sometimes it's just a not yet because you're not some things that you got to do first, right? And it's sometimes it's just you got to learn how to get past that stuff. It's like you got to learn how to get to a place where you're so focused on something where you look for a yes more than you look for no's. But most people are looking for the no. Let me see. Meaning like you're looking if something could go wrong, right? And then sometimes, I think another thing that kind of stops people from being able to grow in their career is that you don't make time to. Like it's like you there really isn't any self-doubt there. You just don't make time, right? You keep thinking, oh, I gotta, like, it's like you keep putting everything else first. And in that's scary because I'm like, ain't no way. I'm gonna spend 8, 9, 10, 12 hours on anybody else's job and wear myself out for their success, and I don't have time to invest in my success. What? Who? Mm-mm. I'm just not working harder for anybody else than I'm working for myself. Thank you. I'm like, I'm not working harder for you than I'm working for myself. So I've had people tell me, like, Alicia, I want to work with you. I just don't have the time. Okay. But like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Do you guys have any questions about what was talked about today when I was talking about that hard work isn't enough, right? So if you guys have any questions about how to advance in your career, if you guys feel served, drop the word value down below. Oh, I'm so glad you guys found this valuable. So yeah, so if you definitely have any questions, let me know. I'll wait a few seconds because I know that there is a lot. Again, you guys know that if you do want to book a strategy call with me, let me know. So you guys are able to learn more about that. So, okay, good. I'm glad you guys got value. I'm so glad to hear that. And so if you do want to catch this this live stream, you can go on my channel on YouTube. I do save all of my live streams there. You can find me on YouTube at I Am Alicia Perkins. I also do have a podcast. I drop episodes every week. It's called Career Revamp. Okay, I have a podcast as well. And I usually go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I was a little late this morning, y'all. Am I the only one? Am I the only one that's struggling with this time change? Child, it's just, it always takes me like a good 2-3 weeks to get in the mode. But this time change got me feeling off. Hey, Jermaine. Okay. Jermaine said, what do you wish you knew that you finally know now? Oh, so I'm thinking this is gonna be career related, if I'm not mistaken. But when I was in my career, right? Because I own my business, I've been doing this for like 4 years almost full time. But when I was in my career, what I wish I would have knew then was, and I'm gonna say this really quick. This is why I coach the way that I do, because of the experiences that I went through. You guys know I was in HR for over 10 years. And it's something about being in HR, guys, when you get to see the back end of stuff, when you get to sit in the dark rooms, right? When you get to see how they hire, why they fire, right? First 4 years or so, I sat in the seat where I had to hire. Then my last maybe like 5 or 6 years, I did development, talent. And when I was able to see how and why they did certain things, it gave me an insight, right? And so this is why I know that I talk from a perspective that sounds like I'm like downing, who you work for. That's not the case at all. I just understand that when it comes to corporate America, it's a whole other ball game. And not that it's a whole other ball game, but when you are just female, right? When you look like this, or when you're any minority, right? Or you're just overall just female, it's the whole game, right? So this is why I do kind of like talk from the perspective that I do, because I do understand that I've come to understand, and this all ties into that they're not built for my success. Corporate America was not built for your success. Like that's what had to be ingrained. Now, I did not get this mindset on my first day. No, I went years. But what I wish I would have known when I started my career was they was not built for my success. Corporate America was built to make corporations successful, not me. And I wish that I really, when I first started my career, I really wish I would have realized the asset that I really was. And and I really wish I would have asked for what it is that I wanted much earlier than I did, because what that did in the beginning, it allowed me to just keep playing small, keep playing safe. And this is why when I talk the way that I do, I'm not trying to talk at you. Like, I've been there, right? But it's like once you start getting insight and you start seeing how they move and why they move. And when I say that, I don't want you to think that they are not for you, or they don't, or it's some kind of war. That's not it. It's just that they're there to make money. Like, that's the top concern from them. And so, I really wish more people would know that in their careers, because for one, it's going to make you not feel selfish when you have to make a move for you, right? When you find yourself in a job that that's not serving you, you're not going to think, oh, what will they do without me? Because you understand that when it comes to your career and your success, right, that you have to be able to put you first. And this is why I wanted to do this live stream. And I really talk a lot about this topic a lot, but I wanted to go into more in depth in this topic because I know, we are moving towards like the last 2 months of the year. And I think this is a time where like people, or they start to sit back and just reflect and kind of see, okay, what does next year look like for me? And so I don't want you to put in your plan to work harder, put in your plan to work smarter, right? What else besides my hard work and what else besides that do I need to make sure that 2024 ain't what 2023 has been, right? Being able to be sure that you're putting yourself in a place, especially in the job market. Have you seen this job market? You're not looking for a job. The state of the job, this should allow you to start rethinking some things. This should make you be like, okay, hold on, let me stop playing with myself. Because, for one, and I do believe, let me say this, I do believe like people being laid off, I do believe that will stop. But what I don't think is going to stop is how competitive things are, right? And so, you need to start thinking about how are you able to put yourself in a place to where you can stay top in a space like this. And it's not always about you having to get more experience or more skills. It's about you being clear. It's about you being able to be strategic. And it's about you being able to master your craft, master your expertise. And a lot of people are still on this jack of all trades, whatever you need me to do, I can do it, fix. And that's not going to get you nowhere. That's not going to allow you to make the money that you want to make and that you should make. But again, you have to be clear, you need to be strategic, and you need to master your craft. Because like I said, the majority of people that I draw in, you have experience. You're seasoned. I usually don't attract people that's just starting out I attract people that your expertise is there, right? So it's like you have to get into a place in your career to where you're thinking about how can you master your career. And you cannot do that when this is off, when it's a bunch of mindset junk happening. And you cannot do that when you're in a phase of people pleasing or you're needing some kind of validation from folks at work or wherever. You cannot master your craft when your focus is on, right? I got to do whatever I have to do so they understand or they believe that I should be here. Absolutely not. And so even with my clients, I help them like, hey, let's get clear on what is your value. Let's get clear on that, because it's not that you don't have it. It's just that you don't know what it is. And when you don't know what it is, you will feel like you have no value, right? And so when I work with my clients, I'm like, look, let's get clear on in this job space, like where is it that you fit? Like, what are your core skills? Like, what are your core strengths? Like, you need to know your expertise so well that you can pivot anytime you want to. Because the reality of it is that because we're in a really weird place right now, and because what tech is starting to advance, right? We are already seeing it, and this is just the start of it, that the workforce is getting ready to look real different. The workforce is getting ready to look real different. And if you keep thinking about the tasks that you do and you don't know the skills that you have, you will be left behind. Because as the workforce changes, and it is, and it already has started, so will the jobs. Right? So will what they need. So will the problems that they need solved. That is going to change. And so if you keep thinking about, or if you tie your expertise in with who you work for, and if you have not owned your past successes and your results and your accomplishments, my friend, you have nothing to build on. And so when this big shift happens, you're going to feel lost. You're going to feel stuck. You'll feel like, oh, I have to take a job that pays less. You'll feel like I don't have enough when you have more than enough, but you haven't taken the time to get clear on what is it that you got. And this is not just at a certain work with VPs who are struggling with, man, what is it that I like? What is the value that I bring? Like what are my strengths? You know, like what is that unique sauce of mine that makes me stand out from everybody? Why is it that I'm so good at what I do? Because sometimes you can be great at what you do, and friend, you don't know. You're like, this is what I do. But there's so many different strengths that you're using. And what gets a lot of people is that you'll be in workplace and you'll find yourself in workspaces that do not cater to your strength, right? They don't. You'll find yourself in roles that make you lean on weak areas, and you're not able to operate in your strengths. And when you're not operating in your strengths, you can't thrive in it. It's like you can't advance because you ain't got nothing to advance on. Because for one, when you're not operating your strengths, you will not be confident. And when you are not confident in something, you can't go all in on it. You can't master it because sure, right? And then what happens is you start beating yourself up. You start feeling like, child, I can go on and on with this. It's just like, you know? And so it takes focus. It does. It takes a season of, you know what? Let me get clear on what I want. And the way that I deal with my clients and the people that I work with, before we get into all of that, what do you want? What is it that you really want? What you scared of? What you want to leave behind? What you want to take with you? Like, what are those things that you really, really good at, but you don't like doing? What is it in your life that you don't have time for, that you want to have time for? How much more money do you want to make? Don't just tell me that you want to make more money. Tell me how much more money. Okay, where did that number come from, right? So that's why when I'm doing my clients, we're on a holistical, is that a word? We are on a very holistic success, right? It's like, it's not about package. Okay, but thank you. It's not about putting you into some little box and packaging you up so you can be a good fit. Child, we're looking for your fit. You, like I said, you've sown the seeds already. It is not about me trying to tell you the exact words that you got to say so you can know. It's about you being able to, one, get clear on who is it that you are now, what are the areas that you need to be served in, and how are we able to align you with the opportunities or the spaces that's going to allow you to thrive, not just in your career, but in life, right? And one of the things that I focus on with my clients is personal development, because I believe that you can only go as far as you grow. I'm going to say it again. You can only grow as far, and I said it right, you can only go as far as you grow. That's it. So, but sometimes they are blind spots. And I use the example a lot of times. Sometimes there are blind spots. You know, literally, when you are driving in your car, you have blind spots. You know, sometimes there is a car over here and you swerve and you get hit and you say, man, I never see that. There are some things in your career that you don't see that is costing you. Those are blind spots, but you don't see them, right? Like I said earlier, you keep hitting that glass ceiling, right? You stuck in that pay range. You feel like you just can't grow no more. Even though you know I believe I have what it takes. That's that blind spot. That's that. You know, when you find yourself not being able to grow into advance and you don't know why, and you feel like I've tried everything, that's growth gaps. There's something there. It's soft skills. It's that you're not clear. It's something there that needs to be filled, right? And so all of this plays a big, big part in you being able to thrive, and not just thrive, but thrive on your terms. So I enjoyed my talk with you guys. If you guys want to receive advice from me throughout the week, make sure that you guys go and join my tribe. I send out advice and strategies like this all week. You can go to Career T, that's Career TEA. That's careertea.me and sign up. And also, whenever you sign up, you can also stay in the know of what I have as well. So I believe that's all the questions that I had. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this live stream. Again, I do go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And so if there are not any more questions, I will let you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.